There are thousands of different AI agency owners right now trying to sell AI agents to businesses. But who's actually doing it successfully, and more importantly, what are they actually selling? So to answer this question, I reached out to some of the most successful AI agency owners to find out which AI agent is actually making them the most amount of money, while also layering in my own experience based off what I've seen consistently sell the best within my own agency. So in this video, I'll be sharing 7 of the best AI agents people are selling for $15,000 or more that you need to implement in 2026. Some of these agents are on the forefront of our technology, cutting edge and innovative, while others are super simple but necessary for every single business owner to implement. This video is a must watch for aspiring AI entrepreneurs, whether you're looking for that first AI business idea to get you kicked off, or just looking to add an additional AI agent to what you've already been offering. And of course, if you're brand new to the channel, my name is Zach Kirk. I've been primarily selling AI agents through my own agency, Vocal Chat AI, for the past 18 to 20 months, and I've done and tried it all when it comes to the AI space. So this video is a brand new style of content for my channel in which I use my expertise and knowledge within the AI space, as well as all the connections I've made from top industry experts to facilitate a sort of value exchange between the top successful AI agency owners and the beginners looking to break into the AI space. With all that being said, let's jump straight into the 7 best AI agents you need to be selling in 2026. Now, I've divided these 7 agents into 3 main categories to make it easier for you guys to understand which agents are actually worth selling at different stages of your journeys. The first 2 are starter agents, meaning that they're simple, affordable, and quick to sell, making them perfect for you to get your foot in the door with these business owners. Now, I know that these first 2 starter agents cost much less than the ones we're going to talk about later on in this video, but trust me, you need to get started selling these 2 agents, and I'm going to explain exactly why. When starting an AI agency from zero, meaning that you have no clients, no case studies, and no prior results showing that what you're offering can actually help the business, you need to offer something that's simple but effective. Something that's really easy to sell, but at the same time makes immediate results within a business without the business owner having to take on much risk at all. So let's kick it off with agent number 1, a Google review agent. This agent triggers right after a service-based business completes a job. What makes this a perfect first agent to sell is how low risk it is, especially for the business owners who are skeptical of AI but know they need to start implementing it. This is a no-brainer. All it simply helps them do is collect more Google reviews automatically, which directly improves their online presence, boosts credibility, and makes them more competitive in a local search. And guys, these Google reviews are way more important than you could ever think. The businesses with the highest volume of reviews and strongest ratings are going to get skyrocketed to the top of the page. And with an agent like this, pricing gets really interesting because you've got a couple of solid options. The first route is a low to mid 4-figure upfront setup fee, somewhere in the range of about $2,000 to $4,000. In this case, you build the agent, hand it over to the client, and you're done. No ongoing maintenance, no stress, that's all you have to take care of. The second option is a retainer-based model. So you might charge, say, $1,000 and then $500 a month. However, now you have to do all the maintenance, make sure everything's running smoothly. And at this point, with all that you know, stacking 20 of these agents up shouldn't be that difficult to sell, just because this agent provides so much value with no risk. With all that being said, let's jump straight into the second starter agent, an off-hours AI receptionist. This AI voice agent answers the phone during hours in which the business is typically closed. Instead of calls going straight to voicemail as they typically would during these hours, the agent can answer the phone, capture the leads, and even book appointments. And this is way more valuable than people tend to realize. You're just making sure that missed calls during off hours don't turn into missed opportunities and missed revenue. And speaking of selling, the off hours AI receptionist follows the same pricing model as the first starter agent. You could either go for that higher upfront model and completely hand over the system to the business owner, or go for that recurring retainer model where you build the system for cheaper, charge lower upfront and higher per month, and you take care of all the maintenance and upkeep. Keep in mind that these voice AI systems do have varying costs depending on the volume of calls. If a business is getting 40 calls a day versus 5 calls a day, it's gonna cost you more, so you're gonna have to charge more for that monthly retainer. However, because this agent is off hours, those numbers typically aren't as high, so you can charge cheaper for that retainer. Now, up until this point, we've been talking about the starter agents. These are designed to be easy to sell and have a very low barrier to entry, which is perfect for getting your first 2 client wins and building building your confidence. But once you've got a couple of these wins under your belt, this is where things really start to change. The next category of AI agents is what I like to call the breadwinners. These are the agents that I personally, along with others in the AI space, have made the most amount of money selling. They're higher value, more impactful, and they actually solve problems that move the needle for a business. The reason that these agents work so well is because at this point, you're not just adding convenience, you're directly affecting revenue and how the business operates. Put it simply, the starter agents were designed for you to simply get your foot in the door with these business owners. The breadwinners, however, are for you to actually scale your business and make a ton of money. In many cases, you're actually replacing employees, removing bottlenecks, and automating processes within the business that are super important. Because of that, the value you're actually providing is much higher, making businesses willing to pay way more. With that being said, let's jump straight into the first breadwinner agent, the full-time AI receptionist. Now, the full-time AI receptionist is typically an upsell after the off-hours agent, which we touched on before. And truthfully, you do need those starter agents as a way to introduce AI into a business without any risk, because it allows the business owner to see AI answer the phone, capture leads, book appointments in a controlled environment before expanding further to 24/7. Only once you establish that trust with the business owner, it's actually time to upsell them on the full-time AI receptionist. Instead of only answering calls during off hours, the full-time AI receptionist takes over that entire role. It answers common questions, qualified leads, routes calls, books appointments. It handles every single inquiry that business has. And from an operational standpoint, this agent literally replaces the role of a human receptionist and in many cases outperforms them. A human receptionist in many cases just comes with so many inconveniences. They cost 60 grand a year, they require training, they can only handle one call at a time, and they have sick days. Pretend two people call a business at once, one of them is getting put on hold, which could result in a lost customer. However, a full-time AI receptionist works 24/7, has sick days, and more importantly, can answer a ton of calls at once. And because of that, businesses are willing to invest in a high upfront cost for this AI agent because they're already spending 60K a year at least on an employee. So when I go out and charge 10K minimum for this agent, it makes sense. They're making their money back sixfold. 60K a year for a full-time employee or 10K upfront for an AI receptionist and say $1,000 a month. Sure, this price is high, but it's half the price. You guys need to think about it through the perspective of the business owner, right? $60,000 a year for a real employee that comes with all those downsides, or $10,000 upfront and say $1,000 monthly recurring revenue from running the system. Sure, this is very expensive, but it's half the price and in my opinion, does a way better job. And guys, that's exactly why, and I'm gonna be completely honest, this agent has made me the most amount of money because it consistently sells for $10,000 and even $15,000 and the value is there for these business owners. You're not just selling a cool automation, you're selling reliability, scalability, and a cool way to expand the business and make it leaner. Now, when it comes to pricing this agent, it's very simple to the off-hours agent with the same two models, the upfront model and the retainer-based model. However, it's much higher upfront because there's much more call volume and it's handling way more tasks. You guys need to take into consideration that this is a full-time AI receptionist that we're talking about. It goes much deeper than the simple off-hours agent that we talked about before. A full-time AI receptionist is directly embedded into the daily operations of a business. It has to understand so many more things and make real-time decisions instantly. Now guys, I understand pricing can be complicated and I'm not just throwing out random numbers here. When you're getting started with AI agents or any AI service in general, you need to have clear pricing tiers. You set expectations up front and you avoid reinventing the wheel for every client. That said, nothing is truly ever one size fits all. These prices are just your baseline. The final number always depends on things like call volume, complexity, integrations, and what the business actually needs on a day-to-day basis. You're not just copy-pasting offers, you're staying between a proven range and adjusting based on scope. Let's jump straight into breadwinner number 2, AI quoting agents. The first breadwinner we covered focused on taking care of those calls and conversations coming from inbound leads. This next agent attacks a completely different bottleneck that exists in almost every single service-based business. Put more simply, giving price estimates to potential customers who are interested in said business's services. Your brakes aren't working, so you call a mechanic and ask them how much it's gonna cost to get them replaced. You wanna get, say, your living room remodeled, so you call a painting company and ask them how much it's gonna cost for a new layer of paint. Giving quotes are the foundation of every single service-based business. Companies are literally built on providing one specific service to their customer demographic. But most business owners don't realize how much time they're actually spending giving free quotes every single day. Once again, if you're a mechanic and you get a call about replacing brakes, you need to figure out the make and model of their specific car, check the parts pricing for that one specific car, factor in how much your labor is going to cost, and then explain all of that to someone. If you're, say, a painter, every quote means finding out the square footage, accounting for prep work, materials, number of coats, timelines, and then sending out an estimate that might just get ghosted. And the craziest part of all this is that it's all free work, right? Giving quotes, sending out quotes doesn't cost the customer anything. Business owners are spending hours a day doing unpaid labor just to give someone a quote, which is quite literally taking time away from them managing teams or actually running the business. This is the bottleneck that most service-based businesses never fix, even though it sits right at the center of how they actually make their money. And that's exactly where the AI quoting agent comes in. An AI quoting agent gives the business the ability to accurately send out price estimations and quotes without taking any of the business owner's time. This agent is directly trained on the business's real pricing rules. This includes any custom variables or add-ons that affect the final price. This agent allows the business to handle quoting at scales without spending hours a day doing so. No waiting, no back and forth, and no forgetting to follow up. From the business owner's perspective, this is pure leverage. You're removing the most time-consuming parts of the business while also improving the customer's experience. And when it comes to pricing, that's why I'm able to sell this agent for $10,000 to $15,000 upfront with no questions asked. Because going back would mean slower responses, more manual work, and more lost deals. This is another agent that quietly becomes the core infrastructure for the business. Once implementing, there's no going back, which is why this is a breadwinner agent. And the third and final agent in the breadwinner category is an AI reactivation agent. Up until this point, the breadwinner agents that we've talked about solely focus on handling inbound demand, meaning answering calls, FAQs, and helping with customer support. But this next agent attacks one of the most overlooked money leaks in every single service-based business, and that is dead leads. Every single service-based business has a huge graveyard of leads that just simply went cold, and most businesses treat those leads like they're completely gone. Most of the time, they're just sitting in their CRM collecting dust, which is absolutely insane. Because these aren't just cold prospects, these are warm leads that showed intent but just didn't follow through. So the problem in this case is follow-up, which would take way too much time and manual work. And that's exactly why the AI reactivation agent is so valuable. Let me give you a very simple example. Think about a Pilates studio. Every month they get a ton of people who book a free class because there's some sort of promo going on. And therefore they're getting a ton of new phone numbers and emails from new leads who are signing up for this free class. And ultimately, right after this free class, not all these leads are gonna sign up for the membership or whatever they're trying to sell. Some are gonna go cold, some are gonna completely forget, but the business still has all those numbers and emails in their CRM. Now imagine the AI reactivation agent automatically reaching back out 30, 60, 90 days later and saying, "Hey Sarah, you came in for an intro Pilates class a while back. Funny enough, we just opened up some new times and we just opened up a new full-fledged beginner program. Would you like me to reserve your spot?" That form of cold outreach using AI, whether it's a text message, call, or email, could be game changer. It could completely fill up classes of old leads stuck in the CRM. No ads, no discounts, just simply following up on all the leads that are already in the CRM. For a Pilates studio owner, that's thousands of dollars a month in recovered revenue just from your reactivation agent. This agent can also send out a chain of personalized sequences based off exactly what the business owner is looking for. For example, it could reactivate the lead with a cold call and then send an automatic text message getting them to book in, and then once they're booked in, it can send them an email. There's so many different sequences that could happen, and this is so valuable. With that being said, let's jump into the third and final category of AI agents we're gonna be talking about in this video, the premium agents. And with the first agent in the premium category, the AI knowledge knowledge and training agent. This next agent solves a problem that every single growing business faces when trying to scale, but nobody talks about: internal chaos. As a business scales, the owner slowly becomes the answer to every single question. How do I do this? What do I do in this specific situation? If a customer asks me this, how do I respond? Even though these questions might seem small and simple to just go and ask the business owner to get an immediate response, they stack up fast and it causes a lot of chaos. And whether the owner knows it or not, this is slowly turning them into a bottleneck. They slow the team down, they interrupt focus. It's just not a good situation to be asking the owner all these questions. And that's exactly where the AI training and knowledge agent comes in. This agent is trained on the business's SOPs, policies, workflows, and their overall internal processes. Think of it as an internal ChatGPT that has the entire knowledge base of their business for the team to use. Instead of pinging a manager or pulling the owner aside, employees can simply just ask the AI. This agent gives instant answers based off how that specific business actually operates. What makes this agent premium is not that it's flashy in any sort of way, it's because it actually saves time. New hires onboard double and even triple as fast because they have this AI training agent to answer all their questions. They don't need to pull someone aside, they don't need to be trained every step of the way by a real employee. Existing staff that may think they know everything make fewer mistakes because there's no more guesswork involved. And managers stop answering the same questions over and over again, which honestly just boosts morale. On top of all this, training agents become more valuable as the business grows. The bigger the team, the more expensive the confusion actually becomes, so this AI agent fixes everything. And that's why this agent consistently sells in the $15,000 to even $20,000 range. You're not just selling some basic AI tool, you're selling direct leverage. You're selling fewer interruptions, you're selling fewer mistakes, and you're selling a team that can actually operate without constant micromanagement. You'll find that when you get to the point when you're selling these premium agents, you're not just automating the front end of the business anymore, you're automating everything internal as well. And last but not least, premium agent number 7, the AI workshop and team training. Now this last agent is completely different from everything else we've talked about because the truth is it's not even an agent. And honestly, this might be one of the most valuable AI services you can offer a business right now, period. Everyone thinks it's going to be replacing jobs, replacing people, and cutting teams apart. What AI really does to businesses is simply just shifts people around. It removes the low-value, repetitive work and shifts humans to do tasks that they're actually valuable in. Things like decision-making, relationship building, communication, and problem-solving. That's where human strengths lie. The issue is most employees and teams don't know how to leverage AI to help them with those repetitive tasks so they can place themselves in a position where they're valuable. And it's not that hard to do because they already know AI exists, they may even use it a little bit. They simply just don't know how to apply it in their specific role in a way that actually makes them more valuable and unreplaceable. If you're productive and valuable to the business, you're never gonna get replaced. AI can't replace the specific task that you're good at. Businesses need their employees to actually provide value to them, which is why these AI workshops are so valuable. It's a win-win for both the employee and the business owner because for the business owner, their teams are trained with AI, so they're 10 times more productive. And for the employee, they're not gonna get replaced by AI because they have all these AI skills along with their human skills. When structuring an AI workshop, instead of throwing a shit ton of tools at a company and hoping everyone figures it out, you run a structured workshop that shows the team exactly how to use AI in their day-to-day work. Not in a generic one-size-fits-all kind of way, but in a tailored, structured approach for that specific business. When employees understand this, something interesting actually starts to happen. They don't feel threatened by AI anymore. Instead, they actually feel empowered. And from my personal experience, this makes them way more productive. And for the business owner, that's a massive win. They're getting more output without actually burning anyone out. And most of all, they're building a business that can actually scale because there's not constant friction of, am I gonna get fired? Is AI gonna replace my job? In this case, you're not selling software, you're not even selling AI automation. You're selling alignment. And this is why having something like an AI workshop in one of your core main offers is incredibly valuable. And guys, trust me, many people in the AI space right now are actually changing this into their main selling. And they're doing extremely well because they understand how huge the demand in the market is for something like this. Guys, I've no joke seen some of my own friends within the AI space charge upwards of 6 figures for AI training programs for these larger companies. And that might sound crazy at first, but when you think about it, it actually makes so much sense. The really powerful part about this offer is how flexible it is. Maybe just a single session or a couple weeks of training. Or you could take the route of going so much bigger. I'm talking longer programs that train different divisions within a single business. Let's pretend a larger corporation has 3 different divisions: sales, marketing, and operation. You could run a specific tailored workshop for every single division so that they can use AI to the best of their abilities within their given field. And the pricing scales depending on scope, depth, and impact. And that's what makes this such a premium offer right now that you guys need to dive into. And guys, when done correctly, I'm saying this confidently, this becomes the highest leverage way to monetize AI in 2026. Wrapping up this video, I want to leave you guys with one final thought. I am not a technical person. I don't sit there and write code. I don't even do any of the back end for my business. Anyone can get into AI right now. I simply work with developers who do all the back-end work while I focus on understanding the problems, use cases, and actually understanding how to sell AI and how to make money. That's exactly how I built my agency from the ground up, and there's the same opportunity for you. You don't need to become an engineer. You need to become a problem solver, and that's where the leverage is. And that's all I got for you guys today. If you like this style of content, please like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what type of videos you guys want to see. I'll see you in the next one.